This video is made possible by the following mad lads. If you want to check out who they are and what they do, go to their links in the description and check them out. Now, onto the video. F1 cars as of 2022 are basically known with their sponsors, and vice versa. Talk to an F1 fan and say Santander and they'll probably think of Ferrari, or say Petronas and they'll probably think of Mercedes. There have always been some iconic sponsors in Formula 1, but with so many there are bound to be at least a couple who are a bit shady, almost like an email from a Nigerian prince. So let's talk about the 3 most controversial F1 sponsors. Number 3, Rich Energy. In late 2018, Williams and Haas were in need of some extra cash to, fund their F1 teams. Williams approached a small energy drink company from England called Rich Energy. They talked about contracts and a whole sponsor deal, and everything was basically signed. On the weekend of the 2018 US Grand Prix, Williams set up a dinner with the board of Rich Energy to confirm everything, but Rich Energy never even showed up. Instead, they were with Haas signing a contract with them to sponsor the American team for 2019. But this is where the drama actually just starts. In the 2019 season, Rich Energy would make some slightly passive-aggressive tweets. Well, when I say passive-aggressive, I mean they blatantly made fun of the F1 team they were sponsoring. These tweets clearly did not make Haas happy at all, but it all came to a head when, without any talks to Haas, Rich Energy tweeted that their sponsorship contract with Haas had been terminated. This caused a huge PR disaster for not only Rich Energy, but also for Haas. Haas came to the press to say that this was tweeted without their permission, and it wasn't even true. But a few days later, Haas themselves terminated the contract permanently, ending the sponsorship. This was thrown into even more controversy when someone dug up Rich Energy's financial records and found out they only had $770 in the bank. Not great for a drink that was supposed to rival Red Bull. It was later found out that Rich Energy had never even paid Haas any of the sponsorship money that they were promised. Then, to top it all off, Rich Energy was taken to court over their deer antler logo with extreme similarities to white bikes, and they were sued for $30,000 in damages, which Rich Energy, to this day in 2022, have not paid. It's kinda hard to pay $30,000 when you only have around $770. There's a lot more crazy situations that Rich Energy have gotten themselves into, but they're way too complicated for now, so let's move on. Number 2. Nicotine products. Yes, I do know nicotine isn't technically a product or a company, but it has been some sponsors, so bear with me. Throughout the years in F1, teams have been sponsored by nicotine products, most notably the Marlboro logos on the Ferrari and the McLarens of old days. In 2001, however, the governing body of F1, the FIA, decided to ban tobacco sponsors from F1 as a whole. But this hasn't stopped some companies from finding loopholes. If you go back a little bit to the 2019 season, you'll be able to spot a Better Tomorrow logo on the side of the McLaren cars. When looked into, A Better Tomorrow was owned by BAT, or British American Tobacco. A Better Tomorrow was a campaign from BAT to promote their e-cigarettes and vape products. But sticking with McLaren, they're also now sporting Vuse and Velo sponsors on their cars that they have been for a little bit now. They are actually technically the same company, but Velo sells nicotine pouches and even nicotine pills, while Vuse are the vape side of the company. And now finally going back to Ferrari. You guys might remember that god-awful green logo on the side of their 2021 Ferrari car. That was Mission Winnow, a company who had been sponsoring Ferrari for a little bit. When looked at, Mission Winnow never really looked like an actual company, but it was, to be honest, ignored. But when looked a little deeper into, it turned out they were literally just a shell company for Marlboro, so I guess they never really went away. The third and final one is a bit of a complicated story, so let me paint you a picture. It's 1999, and the Arrows F1 team are in need of some really big funding from a sponsor. Coming to the rescue is a man by the name of Prince Malik Adu Ibrahim, who offers the team $125 million to slap his new energy drink company, T- on their car. For a struggling team like Arrows, this sounded absolutely amazing, so Arrows accepted. What resulted is one of the weirdest looking liveries, with one half being T- and the other half being Arrows' main sponsor, Repsol. But things started to look a little bit suspicious. When looked into, T- never really seemed to be an actual company, kinda like Mission Winnow, but T- was presented as an energy drink company, but also a motorcycle company and even some cars. But that's not even the biggest part, because at the end of the year when it was time to give up the money that was promised, no one could find Prince Malik. the man just full on disappeared. The Arrows team ended up losing millions and millions and millions in dollars of revenue, and this was one of the main reasons the team unfortunately ended up folding at the end of 2002. But what makes this story even more ridiculous is the fact that a few years later, Prince Malik would end up doing this exact same thing to a NASCAR driver, Robert Richardson Jr., in 2005 for $75,000. So I guess both of these guys fell for the exact same Nigerian Prince scam. If you want to know a little bit more about this situation, head over to the Donut Media video that they made about this. But what are your guys' thoughts about these? Do you see any shady companies today sponsoring F1 teams? Leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.